of course, it's long been a tradition within the UK to have fish on a Friday. So we're going to stay with the tradition today, but we're going to do something a bit more healthy than your standard fish and chips, and a little bit more exciting than just, your fish pie. Aren't we, Khalees? So what we're making today, we're doing steamed cod and sweet and sour cod.
Yes.
Fantastic.
That's right. We've got 2 codfish here, and you can just get them any fishmonger. And there's 2 dishes in particular. You can pretty much use any fish, including what was I saying? Salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amy's favourite.
Not just because it's pink either. So you can use any fish you want to.
Yes.
Cod, I always think, I could be wrong, but I always think it's one of the less flavoursome of the fishes. So it's easier to flavour with other spices and other things. So
Yes, cod indeed. And another thing with the cod is that it's so chunky and so meaty, so that gives the very, very nice, rich fish flavour as well.
Definitely, and a lot of texture as well. It's nice, isn't it, to have something to actually grip onto, particularly when it's colder and you want some good stodge inside you rather than anything flimsy.
And especially because sometimes some people say that the fish can be less filling than meat, but codfish is, because it's very meaty, that's why it's very, very filling. It's just a nice lunch.
So there's no excuses not to be healthy and try and have your fishes.
And it's just in a few minutes we'll be done with these 2 healthy dishes.
Brilliant. So, okay. I think a lot of people get quite apprehensive about cooking fish because they're worried they'll do it wrong. So luckily we've got an expert. So let's go straight into the first one. We're steaming it, is that right?
Yes, we're steaming it. So let me just turn this up.
Steaming's so good, isn't it, for fish as well, for anything really. It really keeps the nutrients in.
Yeah, but we steaming the fish, well, first of all, I treated the fish, I basically washed it with salt.
Right.
So because the fish is very, very easy to soak in the flavouring, so even washing with salt would give the tiny, slight salty taste to it.
Okay. Brilliant. So you say you wash it with salt. How would you do that?
You just sprinkle salt on it and just rub it.
Oh,
and
right.
rinse it with water and dab it dry. Yeah.
Good tip there. Okay.
That's it. And you need a bowl like this because once you steam the fish, and lots of sauce would come out, and you want to save that sauce.
Right.
That's the flavour.
Right. Okay.
And simply, we only need here fine sliced ginger and onion, spring onion.
Okay, so that's ginger you're putting in there.
Yeah.
Now, what about, because a lot of people have ginger at home, dried in the jars. Can they use that, or is it best to use fresh?
It's better to use fresh because it gives out a lot more flavouring. Yeah. But if you want, you can use the paste.
Yeah. Okay.
Next option, that would be paste.
Brilliant.
In fact, I've got a jar over there.
This one, is it this
one
here?
That's the one.
Oh, this is a massive jar, isn't it? When I think of a jar of ginger, I think of tiny.
Oh, massive.
A big one there.
Yeah.
I suppose if you do a lot of cooking, it's better to buy in bulk, really, isn't it?
Especially sometimes you're just lazy. I get lazy. Yep. Okay, so it's just the ginger and the spring onion. Okay. You can just mix them up. You need pretty much quite a bit of it, actually.
Yeah. How many pieces are we talking?
I would say probably, that fish is about 150 grams.
Right.
So you need around 15 grams of each.
Okay, so it's 15 grams. And if you haven't got the weighing scales to hand, of course, you just need enough to cover the fish well, don't you?
Yeah,
so
that's
use a bit of sort of common sense just to think that.
And the reason you use quite a bit of the ginger and the spring onion is that some people don't really exactly like the taste of fish.
A lot of people, which I can't understand, and we both say we're big fish fans, but a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, this simple spice, you can just grab it anywhere and can actually calm down the whole fishy taste to
flavour.
it.
Okay, so you can still get your goodness without the fishy taste.
And this, we're going to put in the pan. Okay. Steamer.
So that's the steamer. So how long has that been cooking for then? That's just boiling water, isn't it, on the hob?
Just boiling water on the bottom, and you want it to be sort of truly boiled. If I take this up, if you can see, and it's just bubbling away over there.
Brilliant. And steamers are so good, aren't they? When I think of steamers a while ago, they used to be those really complicated contraptions. But now the fact that you can just use it with your standard, pots and pans is brilliant.
Sometimes if you don't even have one of these, you just use a pan, a frying pan like this, put water on the bottom of it. Yeah. Put, I don't know, chopsticks on top and put a plate.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's a very good tip. Or maybe some sort of sort of those metal sort of, not colanders, but metal sort of trays. Yeah. Anything just to support it, really.
That's right. Just don't.
Because not all of us have chopsticks lying around, unfortunately. I'm not very good with them.
Or knives, or whatever goes in there. It's easy. Right. Okay. This is going to steam away for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
But the cooker is a bit slow, so I would say probably around 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
And now gives us time to make this dish.
Brilliant.
Another one.
It was all planned having a slower cooker, you see, just so we've got enough time for this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So just what we're using there, which oil are we using?
I'm using the same oil.
Okay, so sunflower
sesame
oil.
Yeah. Sorry, sesame oil.
Okay.
The sunflower oil I'm using here.
Okay.
And you approximately need probably about 2 tablespoons or a tablespoon and a half just to
Okay.
cover the bottom of the pan.
What's the best oil in your expert opinion to use? Because there's so many out there, isn't there? So many different oils, and people just tend to go for the cheapest one or the one that they're most familiar with. Is there one that's more flavoursome or better ones?
In Chinese cooking, we use a lot of vegetable oil, and then we use a lot of seeds oil.
Okay, if we just do this, you can.
Occasionally, yeah,
while
this
we're
is not
discussing
heating
that.
up.
Oh, is it not? Oh
Yeah.
goodness, these cookers aren't too great, are they?
It's actually okay, because if you want it to fry the fish in there,
Yeah.
you want it sort of a general medium heat. So you don't want the pan to be too hot.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's making a nice sizzling noise, so
Yep.
we know it's doing quite
Yep.
well.
Yep, but it's not sort of like stuck to the bottom of the pan. That means that the heat is okay. If it starts sticking, that means it's too hot. You need to turn it down.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So
See, I would have thought if it was sticking, you tend to think you're a bad cook, don't you, and panic. But it's not your fault at all. It actually
yeah.
is the equipment.
Lots
is
of
too
times
warm.
it's either you don't have enough oil in it, or it's just too hot.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Okay.
Right, go back to the oil. In
please
Chinese
do.
cooking, we use a lot of seed oil. Occasionally, we use fish oil.
Right. Okay. When I think of fish oil, I think of cod liver oil that you give him when you're little, and you hold your nose because you don't want to taste it. But
Right. No, actually, you can get those fish oil. It's blended with
and would that have all the goodness then? Because fish oil is very, very good for you, isn't it?
Yes,
So-
most of the fish oils on the market, it could be mostly is blended with the other oil,
Okay.
vegetable oil sort of
So
thing.
it's sort of diluted a little bit.
Yeah. So next. Right.
Goodness me, that does cook quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. The fish cooks very, very quickly. That's why the steaming fish only takes a few minutes.
Yeah.
The same as this one. You only need to pan fry them to both sides, sort of brownish, golden
Yeah.
brown if you could.
And it's because it's quite chunky, like we mentioned at the beginning there.
Yeah.
And you might be quite worried that you're not going to cook it all the way through, and nobody wants raw fish in the middle. So is there any ways to sort of make sure that doesn't happen?
You get a little spoon and work your oil to the sides.
Right, okay.
Or if your fish is chunky enough, you can actually turn it onto the sides and fry it
Right, okay.
Yep. like this.
And obviously the oil's where the heat's going to be as well, more intense, isn't it? So it's
Yeah.
going to help it cook all the way through.
Yep. Sorry, Amy, is it splashing at my knee?
Very sizzly, lovely. Do you know what? I'm getting carried away. I'm not going to ask you any more questions. I'm mesmerised by this fish because it does look beautiful.
Right.
So it's just taking that out now. It really doesn't take very long at all, does
No,
it?
not at all.
And it does, I mean, I notice when I cook fish, it does tend to flake a little bit. And then obviously there's no need to worry, but is there any tips for sort of keeping it solid in shape? Because you don't want sort of fish flakes all over the place.
Right. It's actually, the reason we pan fry it, that's the whole idea of trying to keep the fish in shape.
Yeah,
But,
definitely.
when it's started flaking, you don't really have to worry too much about it, because that's a sign of fish being cooked.
Right, oh, is it? So
Yeah.
that's a good sign then.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry.
Yeah, because the fish, if it doesn't get cooked, it's not going to do that. But if it's cooked, that's ready.
So if it's cooked, it stays together. Of course, when if it's not cooked, sorry, and when it's cooked, it starts to flake. So that's
Yep.
really a signal to let you know.
There, see, it's
Lovely.
flaking. It's flaking there.
Okay. Just pop that just slightly to the side. I don't want you to knock yourself.
Yeah.
The safety in the kitchen is paramount as well. Lovely.
There you go. And you still get leftover oil in the pan,
Yeah.
and you can reuse it. So we don't want any dishes to be too fattening now, do we?
No, definitely not.
Yep.
So you can reuse that oil,
Yep.
In a fish dish, or can it be in any dish?
Oh no, because I'm going to make a sauce to go on top of it, so you can reuse
it
that
within
oil.
the same
Yeah.
dish, right?
And
okay.
again, it's got lovely, lovely fish flavour.
I was going to say a
already.
lot of the flavour would
Yep.
have gone into that.
That's
Because that's the great thing as well about steaming. Often when you sort of boil vegetables or something, you lose most of the flavour. It's just stodge because the rest of it's just gone in the water.
Yeah.
So if you're not having that extra, component, then you really are keeping all the flavours in. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to be making the sauce now.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Fantastic. And how did you get all these recipes? Is this a family recipe or is it something you've had an interest in for a long time?
Right, it's actually, yeah, some of them are family recipes because my mom is a brilliant cook and I used to watch her when I was younger.
Yeah.
And later on I started to learn and trying to experiment myself.
Yeah.
And lots of them I sort of fused quite a bit.
But that's what it's all about, making it your own, isn't it? And taking
Yeah.
sort of the traditional family recipes you have got and making maybe a bit more modern or a bit more adventurous,
Yeah.
because so many more ingredients are available to us now
Yeah.
that they weren't sort of, a few years ago. So
Especially, I mean, a few years ago I married to a Pakistani and my mother-in-law was a brilliant cook as well herself. So I kind of just got the idea of, here and there and we'll make them
mixing
together.
it all together. Brilliant.
Yeah, so in a way that I do quite a bit of fusion food instead of just pure Chinese. Mm. Right, okay. That oil, it's probably a bit less, so slightly more.
Okay, a little bit more. And that's still the sunflower seed oil, isn't it?
It's exactly the same.
Okay.
Right.
And have you turned the heat down now, or are we keeping the heat still the same?
We need to turn the heat up high, actually.
Oh, higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you cook the fish, you want a medium heat. But
Yeah.
when you actually make the sauce, because again, stir frying, you need something that is very, very hot.
Brilliant. Okay.
Okay, here I just go through with everyone what we're using for the sauce. Chopped onion and garlic.
Okay.
I can't see garlic here.
Yeah.
Now. It's all in there. So in it goes.
So is there a preference between a red onion or your sort of standard white onion?
I like using white onion because once you're cooking, white onion actually gives out a lot more flavouring
Right,
than red
okay.
onion. And sometimes a red onion can go quite soggy and funny if you sort of cook for a while.
I think of red onions as more Mediterranean cooking, and then sort of the white onions more for the sort of more solid dishes.
I always thought red onion is good for salad.
Yeah, well, Mediterranean, it's all that fresh salad, isn't it? When you sort of, when you're out there,
it's
and
lovely,
Greek
lovely.
salad and things.
And personally, I do think that red onion, in taste, is sweeter than the white ones.
Definitely,
So,
definitely. And you've used fresh garlic there, and now a lot of people, don't always have that to hand, but they may have garlic paste or sort of garlic in little pots and jars. Is that equally as good?
Yes, that's absolutely fine. And sometimes you could use a puree as well, in a little tube. Right, and while it's kind of sort of golden brown, the garlic bits, and we want to have...
What's this we're putting in
That's
now?
mango slice.
Lovely. Quite a yellow mango, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is actually the African mango.
Right, okay.
The
I didn't even
reason-
know you could get different ones.
Yeah, you can. The Asian mangoes are yellow,
Yes.
and the African mangoes are those ones that are, big, round, and colourful.
So what's, obviously in this one you're using the African one,
mango.
but what is the general difference? Is it just the colour, or do they have different texture, different taste?
Yes, African mango, the texture of it is a lot tougher.
Right,
And
okay.
it's more sour than the Asian mangoes.
Okay.
And Asian mangoes mostly we eat in the summer days, just in season, and it's dead sweet. And it's not going to give much of the sour taste that we want in the sweet and sour dish.
So is African better mainly for sort of savoury dishes? Because with savoury dishes you don't necessarily always want them to have such an intense sweetness.
I know a lot of people use African mangoes for dessert and for fruit salad and sort of things because of the texture of the mango itself.
Right.
And again, African mangoes are a lot more meatier because the core is slightly smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot you didn't know about mangoes, so we've educated the viewers of today. And do you have any tips? Obviously, you always use the fresh garlic, and we've already mentioned that you can use the other ones.
Yep.
But garlic leaves a smell on your hands for days afterwards. So in your sort of years of doing all this wise cooking, have you found any ways to beat that?
Garlic smell. Let me think now.
I've heard rubbing it on metal, rubbing your hands over, you can get these sort of almost like stones of steel, and people rub their hands with those. Do they work? Not tried them yet.
I never tried that, but I heard that my mother-in-law told me you should rub your hands on a piece of clay or just go outside and get some dirt.
Oh, really? Okay.
Get some dirt from your garden. Okay, here I need a bit of ginger. Here, ginger paste that goes in is just fine. If you've got time to chop your ginger fine, that's just as good.
Yeah.
Here you go.
It's lovely to have all the fresh ingredients, isn't it? But sometimes if you're just trying something out for the first time, or you're going to go back to it and you want to have sort of things kept in the cupboard, sometimes it's just convenient, isn't it, to use them already done. That's starting to smell lovely. That ginger really does have a kick to it, doesn't it?
That's right, that's right. And when you're frying this thing, making this sauce, you could put your ginger with the garlic and onion.
Right.
But because it's a paste, that's why it's got like lots of excess water and juice in it.
Yeah.
And when the pan is very hot, it starts splashing everywhere. That's why I choose to put it in later.
Okay.
So when the pan cooled down a bit with all those other cookings going on.
Brilliant.
Right, let me just turn this off now.
Fantastic. So we've got about 5 minutes left, so it's all going to plan, which is very, very good for live TV cooking.
Brilliant.
And can you just leave that to one side, or do you have to keep stirring it the whole time to stop it, anything sticking?
Well, the pan is a non-stick, so you don't really
So
have
you don't
to
need to worry,
about
that's
that.
good,
No.
that's good. So you can get on with everything else.
Yeah, but you do have to worry about it might burn.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why you need to do everything quickly.
Okay.
Here, I got some vinegar, and it's a red particular made vinegar, and it's a Chinese rice one, and it's lovely, lovely. Just don't use your salad vinegar; it's not going to work.
Right. Okay. So you have to get the correct vinegar.
The Chinese rice vinegar is quite nice.
Okay.
And here we go. Because a mango alone is not sour enough, but it gives that fruity sourness and taste. That's why I choose to use a bit of vinegar.
Where can you get this vinegar from? Is it just sort of Chinese specialist cooking shops, or is it available in sort of your standard supermarket?
I know that Tesco's and Asda's, they start doing the Asian section, so you can get them there. But you can just pop into Chinatown, any Chinese shop.
Okay.
They would do them. Right, the one I just put in, standard brown sugar.
Lovely.
And you need probably about a teaspoon and a half.
Okay.
Of that.
And brown sugar over white sugar?
I like it.
Yeah, brown
like it
sugar's a
better.
more caramelised sort of taste to it, doesn't it? Quality.
Because it's a lot sweeter.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And here we go. And we have a dark soy sauce.
Okay. And everybody has soy sauce lying around, it seems, don't they? Something that's at the back of their cupboard, so this is a chance to use it again.
Okay, the reason I'm using a dark soy sauce because dark soy sauce is stronger, because you know that you can get light and dark.
Yes, definitely.
And a dark soy sauce is good for cooking. It gives a lot more stronger taste, and it's saltier, and it's very, very good for marinating.
Brilliant. Okay, we've only got 3 minutes left.
Right.
So it looks like we're sort of on cue. It looks pretty well done to me, but you're the expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
We don't even really need salt. But if you taste it and you think that the salt needs a little bit more, you can just sprinkle a bit of salt.
Season it to taste.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't even know we had all this down here. I'm such a pro.
Yeah.
There we are.
Okay.
Beautiful
Traditionally,
plates.
we accompany this or fish or the sort of dishes like this with a bit of rice.
Okay.
So I got a little.
Because then you've got your carbohydrates with your protein, so it's a proper strong meal, isn't it?
That's right.
So how have you made these lovely round shapes? You just use sort of the sort of standard rings, or
you can get this, you know, the muffin, the cookie shapers.
yeah. Oh right, you can just use those. Brilliant. Okay. We've actually got a caller on the line. Hello.
Oh.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you? Is that Mubarak?
Yes,
Hello, Mubarak. And are you enjoying watching the cooking today? Are you a good cook yourself?
hopeless. I am a hopeless cook.
So you're a hopeless cook?
Yes.
I don't believe that for a second. Well, you'll have to try this over the weekend.
Smell of fish.
You're not very good at cooking fish. Well, hopefully, if you'll be able to follow these tips, of course, we will be uploading it onto the website as well, so you can watch it back several times and let us know how you get on.
Right,
Okay?
right, okay.
Brilliant. And which one do you think you'd prefer, the steamed fish or the sweet and sour fish?
Pardon?
Which is your favourite, the steamed or the sweet and sour?
Sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour. I think
Sweet
I
and
might
sour.
be with you on that one. Well, thank you for calling, Mubarak. Have a fantastic weekend.
Yep. Thank
Okay.
you for calling. Right, to finish the dish,
We're just grating. And what's that there? Is that satsuma?
there's orange.
Oh, it's an orange. I thought it looked a bit too small to be an orange. That's why I was surprised, because I've done a lot of cooking, and normally satsumas are just the skin's too loose, isn't it? But that's a
orange.
very petite orange, just so
Yeah.
everybody knows. And the smell's beautiful as well. There we are, so using
you
the
go.
rind. And of course, we've got more time, you can play about that a little bit more.
That's right, that's
So
right.
that one done. And then the final one, which is the steamed fish.
Yep, if I can get that out, that is. Actually.
Okay. Be careful, make sure you don't hurt yourself. Lovely, and that orange gives it such a strong aroma, doesn't it?
Yes, that's, yeah, it would be nice if you just dish up right now because
Straight
of the
away,
aroma.
exactly. And obviously to keep the heat as well, you don't want to have to reheat any of this. So you sort of, and that's what's so good, isn't it? Both the dishes here we've seen have taken, you know, sort of under 10 minutes each to do. So you can have your dinner party guests over, they can entertain themselves easily for 10 minutes and you can quickly cook all this up.
Yep.
Okay. And
There
there we
it
are.
goes.
Fantastic.
Need a sauce to go on top of it, but
Yeah.
I just need a couple seconds to do that.
Brilliant. Well, Derek's coming over here because he can't resist it anymore. It smells amazing.
Food, glorious food. You know I'm always around when there's food to be tasted. This absolutely looks wonderful. I've been watching very, very patiently from the sofa there, and it's just wonderful.
Yep.
It's enjoyable as well, isn't it? Doing the
Oh,
whole
I love
thing.
cooking. I love cooking.
Put a big smile on your face.
Which one's your favourite there, Derek?
Well, let
Which one's
me just
yours?
bring this in so that everyone can see that at home as well, because I know all these bottles are in front of it. So hopefully, if I put those two in front of you, there you go. You can see both of them. So this is the sweet and sour one at the front here on the white plate, isn't it? And this is the steamed cod, isn't it? On the black
Yeah.
and white plate there.
That's
Looks
great.
wonderful.
Are we allowed to have a quick taste? 'Cause
You
it's all
Yes.
about
are.
the eating, isn't
You
it?
are. Start tasting that one because that's ready to eat.
I don't know if we have any cutlery, and I don't want to use my
Oh,
fingers.
yes, of course you do.
Oh,
It's on
you're
the bottom of
wonderful.
them.
You've
Thank
thought
you.
of everything,
Oh,
haven't you?
fantastic.
There
Thank
you go.
you very
one for
much.
You. One for you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank
Okay.
you very much for all of your wonderful efforts, because this looks absolutely
Doesn't it
superb.
look
Let's pop
lovely?
that on.
Uh,
Let's have a quick taste.
Okay, well, taste this one very, very quickly.
Well, yeah, while you two tasting that, let me just
That's
talk through
lovely.
this sauce I'm
Well,
making
we
here.
haven't got time, my lovely, I'm afraid, because it's time to go.
We will try
Okay.
the details on the website. Of course, we could always make it another day.
Oh.
Have a fantastic weekend for myself and all the team here, including Derek and Kalisa. And we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Okay, then,
Take
bye.
care. Bye-bye.